14. All right. So being emotionally mature means that your level of emotion befits a situation and you can show adequate emotional control and expression. But how can you tell if somebody's emotionally mature? This morning we're going to be discussing that. Some of the signs to show you so that you can know what is what. Developing your emotional maturity may not only help to improve your relationships with others, but it may also boost your mental well-being. Did you know that? Okay, so research on life satisfaction has found that low emotional maturity is directly related to higher levels of loneliness and low life satisfaction.
By the way, this comes from psychcentral.com. My brother Russell told me many, many, many moons ago that the control of emotion is the foundation of character. I've never forgot that.
Roselle is the boss.
Yep, I've never forgotten that. I'll say that again. The control of emotion is the foundation of character, which just means you have to control your emotion. You can't just say, oh, you start making up on eyes and run up and down, which some of us do. Whether that's unfortunate or not, because some people feel you must show your emotion. And some
but
people,
you should.
Yeah, and some people you can't see it right or something. You know?
So everything has parameters, no?
Yeah.
But you can't lock up everything because you will dead.
Yep.
So it's how?
Being aware that your emotions are separate from your identity. In other words, you're not an angry person. You sometimes experience anger. It don't necessarily mean because you're vexed one day, everybody see you and say, that man, every minute you look at him, just vex. I
know some angry people, though.
That them always.
Always.
Yeah, man.
It is just who they are.
Yeah,
even when them smile, them face.
Yeah, man, I know some people, too. and they find the anger in all things where you're supposed to happy about.
And those are the people who are not emotionally mature. Yep. I think who are lacking in not only emotional maturity, but emotional intelligence, too. So what? Being aware that your emotions are separate from your identity.
That's one.
Taking responsibility for your emotions and not blaming others for how you feel. These are people who are emotionally mature.
Yeah, it says a body-centered trauma and relationship coach. Common signs of emotional maturity in adults. So taking responsibility for your emotions, right? So I can't blame Simone for, because she do something and I start make a whole heap of noise and them say, well, it's Simone caused it. No, I'm not a child. I'm a big man. So she may have said something that could throw me off, but it's me must control myself. So I can't get mad and start make pure noise and somebody say, say I want Simone cause that. No, it's me cause that because I'm not a child. But you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
I'm not a child. Even though maybe it could trigger a little thing. No, I'm being serious. It could trigger a little thing. And you kind of want to jump off, but then you ever say, no, but now is not the time to do that. And you kind of pull back. So that
I don't trigger you, though.
Eh?
I don't trigger you.
No, about 25 times every show. But as long as it not reach 26, we're good.
I'm just going to deal with that very emotionally maturely. And move on.
Number 3 says what?
Understanding how your emotions manifest in your body.
What does that mean? Explain that one.
Well, I guess how you feel what you feel and what it comes out as when you feel it, right? You have to be able to understand that and be in tune with that so that you can control how it manifests when you feel something. Right.
Taking an interest in other people's emotions and needs. I think that's key. So me is a bally person, so I'm going to cry and I would hope that my good friend when me start crying, I want to man, stop, But in other words, she understands that I am this type of person and she'll just say, all right, make him cry, I'll cry for 2 minutes and then he move on. That is understanding other people's emotions. In other words, you can't just say, the way she vexed for. If she's like that type of person, then you have to accept, say, she's that type of person,
Yep.
I understand and I agree with that one. Next one.
Receiving feedback without becoming defensive or argumentative, even when you don't agree.
Yep. In other words, she might start crying. Say, you're too emotional, man. I want to. No. That cannot be do. You need to know, say, well, maybe I didn't necessarily agree that she must start crying, but I accept that is such a stay, and I have to deal with that. Instead of just say, no, man, I'm foolish. Yeah, cry for it. Which is some people do that, Some people, as you look at them, we have make up your face, I want to. But if the person is like that, guess what? The person is like that. So you have to accept that. Next one. Knowing how you feel and freely communicating your emotions. Well, you always know me feel, and I always freely communicate my emotions. Me not hide that at
Guilty.
all. Yeah, no,
As
me
charged.
Me not hide that at all.
Yeah.
Me don't hide that at all. It's just you have to learn how to deal with it.
Correct. Expressing anger without harming others or yourself. Regulating your emotions.
Hold on, no go on with that. Tell me that one there again.
Well, when you're emotionally mature, you know how to express your anger without hurting other people or hurting yourself. So you're not upset, and because you're upset and I walk past and I say something to you, you say something hurtful to me because you're upset.
Okay. I didn't understand it. No,
So Nev, why would you deal with me like that? You just say, oh, in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I come wrong with this man.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Me have a bread you know stay, so.
True?
My bona fide.
I wonder who that could be.
If him not good, I'm saying, no, no.
Wonder who that could be.
Yeah.
Regulating your emotions in a variety of situations is often also a sign of emotional maturity.
Comes back to what I said originally. Control yourself, and it teaches character, I suspect. 9 says what?
9 is the same as 4.
Yeah, allowing space for the emotions and experiences of others. Right, I agree with you. And 4 says taking an interest in other people's emotions and needs. Yep. Number 10?
10 is linked to everything else. Experiencing your emotions without allowing them to take over. Very important.
They say 5 tips to grow emotionally. The first one is journaling. You do that, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. Journaling means what? No, you just write down one idea or what? What is journaling?
Or write down your thoughts or your feelings on a particular issue, or if you're feeling overwhelmed, you write why, you just get it out of you.
How does that help?
Helps to relieve the pressure. It's
You
like
read it back and think, or you just go and write down?
Sometimes, but sometimes you feel backed up and the release is actually very cathartic.
You write every day? So it's just on a great day and on a very bad day? Which days you write? Good days, bad days, in between days? Which days you write?
I don't dictate when I write when I feel like I need to write.
What would throw you off? Well, maybe not throw off, but what would make you feel like you want to write? So give me an example. You don't have to be specific, but give me an example of why you think, I'm going to write something about that.
On a day, like, if I particularly miss my mother, I write. Something that triggers you, you write. Depends.
Emulating those around you. Choose close people who honestly care for you, respect you, and are interested in your feelings. As you observe how they interact with their own feelings and those of other people, you can gain a perspective on how emotional maturity looks. I accept and understand that.
Being pragmatic.
Which
Emotions
means what, please?
may be less intimidating if you remind yourself that they're your body's way of telling you something important. So appreciate your emotions as messengers with important information for you instead of scary energy that must be suppressed. This is so important.
Yep.
Lean into what you're feeling. You have to feel through it. If you suppress it, it's going to come back stronger. So if you're experiencing anger, just let it be and come through. If you're experiencing stress, if you're experiencing pain, if you're experiencing tears, just let it happen. And purge. And then you'll be okay. Learning about emotions.
That is key also. In other words, you don't want, you're doing something, you say, well, me I go and suffer, and you don't even understand where it comes from and stuff. But I think
I tell people to give yourself grace.
Yeah, that's key. The more you understand emotions, the more you may be able to recognize them. And to help with this, some people think you should go to self-help books. But, don't, when something happens to you and you feel that way, you say, where may I go and so? How about that? No, that's part of
people get mad at themselves and like, may I eat that? Beat yourselves up.
That's part of your emotion. So you just have to learn that it is your emotion and it's not that you get crazy or anything like that. Listening to your body, which means what, please? Focus
on how your emotions show up in your body. How do your emotions show up in your body? If you're feeling particularly stressed, what happens to you? Are you ever particularly stressed?
I was just going to say, okay, I don't get then. Particularly. I am not, well, I'm not a nervous person. I don't get embarrassed and all kind of thing. Something happened to me, I just take my licks and I move on.
When I'm feeling particularly stressed, I feel like my body is covered in hives. Like I can literally feel this distress energy sitting atop my body. It's like cortisol and all the stress hormones just hold me hostage.
I've learned, and I can even actually remember the day it hit me, that I've learned to accept the things that I cannot change easily.
You can accept them and it's still stress you, though.
Yeah, but I can remember being...
So we're not exclusive.
Yeah, I remember being abroad many, many years ago, and I kind of got to the stage that why am I here? I'm all of my family there in Jamaica, and then I start blaming myself and me, why am I there, and that kind of thing. And then I just kind of sit back and say, well, you're done there already, you know, so you better deal with it. And I learned that day. And even here, I might say something on here that I probably just, when the show done, I say, what kind of foolishness that you say? And you know them all cuss. And 9 o'clock it's still up on me, and 9:30 it's still, and 10 o'clock we just say, well, you don't say it already, you know, so.
What can you do?
Yeah, we just take your licks, and if it's licks you go and get, you have to take your licks. So I've learned to do that. So I easily accept what I cannot change.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how emotionally mature are you?
I think I'm pretty decent. I would be up there, I think.
Where?
I mean, I'm not perfect, so I wouldn't say 10, but probably 8, 7, 8. I think I'm up there. I think I control myself. Maybe even a little bit more than 7, but we're not perfect, so I certainly wouldn't say 10. And there also, as much as you are emotionally mature, there is something in life that is going to throw you off, that you're going to say, I don't know how somebody would have responded to this, you know what I mean? She mentioned her mom, and it's quite unfortunate, but sometimes I would think like that, and I said to myself, yeah, but, and then all of a sudden one day I think about mama. It just knocked me over flat.
Grief will test your emotion.
And then another day I'll think about her and I talk about her and I'm fine and we laugh about it and something what she did do. But another day, if I ever say mama, me done for the whole day, you know?
Get into it, my friend.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go for a break. Nice discussion. Hope you all got something out of that. I certainly did. And coming up, storytelling in the diaspora with the creators of Sons of Kingston. So we soon come. Stay with us, please.